Hi there. In this video, I'm going to show you the updates in the new Gouly app. To start, when you open up the app, log in and you'll see your account. Just like always, you can click this tab and be able to see your lights come on or off. We're going to enter into the app and you can see the home screen. Right now, the system's off, but when we select the color down below, you'll see that the dots light up to the color that you selected. You can also pick from the color palette and then favorite it by clicking on this heart. That will add it to your favorites over here. And of course, you can adjust the brightness. Moving to the pattern page, this is going to be the most common page that people spend their time on. One of the most popular patterns is architectural lighting. There's the warm white, and then there's the bright white. This warm white will have many different options like this, like one on, one off, two on, two off, and so forth. Since we're close to Valentine's Day, I'm going to click on this pattern. I'm going to select Valentine's Day. Now, let's say I want to add movement to this. I like the colors, but I want to add some movement. So just clicking anywhere here will give you an advanced options. Now here it says static. Click there, and you'll be able to see lots of other different options for different animations. So you can go through them and apply the effect and see which ones you like. It will give you a preview here before it actually applies to the house. Okay, that's kind of cool, but I'd like to slow it down a little bit. So scroll down and we're going to reduce the speed. And because I want this to go through the night, I want to reduce the brightness down to about 60%. And you can do that for each color. Okay, now that's just where I want it. If you want to add another color, you can just by pressing this plus button here, and then either selecting from the favorites or from the color picker, and even one of the common colors. That blue doesn't really go with everything else, so I'm just going to delete that. Okay, great. And in this case, there is no background color. If it were to be this, and this color were to be black, well, then your lights are going to have a gap, as you can see here in the animation. And then a background color would apply where that black area is. But for now, I want it to be continuous. And I do like it flowing in this direction. So I'm going to save that. Okay, and here we go. Great. Now, I want to be able to reference this in the future without having to scroll all the way down and find the folder and then find the pattern. So I'm going to favorite that, and I'm going to come into my favorites folder, or it will show up right here up on top. The downloads section will not be used very often, but this is in case you were to accidentally delete one of these, you could download it over here. And then here, is how you can create custom patterns. Now, this is different than from what I showed you before because this custom is how we select individual lights. So I can come over here and let's say I just want to have the peak lights lit up. Well, let's come down here, select a color, and I want it to be perfect. Lucky guess, right? And at the very end, I want it to be over here. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so let's save that. Perfect. So now I have my peaks lit so that at night I can have just those areas lit up. Now, coming over to the timer, this will most likely be the second most used page besides the patterns, because here is where you're going to actually apply the pattern to become a timer. So you can edit one that already exists or create a new one by pressing the plus button. Because I want to have Valentine's Day every year, and I know I'm going to refer back to this, instead of deleting it or overriding it, I'm just going to turn this one off. And I'm going to press this plus button. I'm going to give this a name. So we're going to call this Valentine's. And you can't do spaces yet, but that is something that we will be working on. So I'm just going to leave it at that. And then here's where I'm going to select the pattern. Lighting color is just a solid color, and a lighting scene is that custom pattern that we just made. So I'm going to go to the lighting pattern. I'm going to go to the favorites. I'm going to select that one. And I want it to come on at sunset and press save. And then I want it to turn off at 11 o'clock. Perfect. And I do want it to come on every day. I'm going to go press save. Okay. So here it is down below. Now, because this is so similar, I'm going to go ahead and delete this. I can just swipe from the right to the left and remove that. And then the far right, this is the settings. Because I'm on a computer here, it does not show the location. On a phone, it will. That's what helps the system know what time the light should turn on and off. When you set up your device, it will capture your location of your home. Device sharing, this is where you would go to put in the email or phone number of someone else that has the Gouly app on their phone and has created an account. You can share access to your lights with them. Another way you can share is just by giving that person the same username and password that you're using. In the share manager, everyone that you've shared your lights with will appear here, and you can remove their access at any time. Everything else here is all set up with the technician when he's at your home and does not need to be changed again. Once in a while, a firmware update is something that you should do, and that's done by connecting to the device via Bluetooth. And this I go into more detail in another video. And system reset, these are things that are rarely needed to do with your device. So the settings page really doesn't get used that often. If you have any questions, please let us know. Reach out. We're here to help. We put a lot of work into this new update and hope you enjoy it.